everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Layla Spencer Knit Socks podcast. I'm your host, I'm Layla Spencer. You can find me on Ravelry as Layla Spencer 15. You can also find me on Instagram as Layla Spencer Knit Socks. And I also have a little Ravelry group with 2 members, yay! Over on Ravelry as Layla Spencer Knit Socks. Hi, welcome to episode 2. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone. I'm a little overwhelmed that I've had quite a few views. I've had a couple of wonderful comments, one including my daughter. Both my children have watched my podcasts, which I find a little embarrassing, but there you go, at least they've watched it, and my daughter discovered exactly how passionate I am about my knitting. What's happened this week? This week, work. Been extremely busy with work. The weather this week had been really hot, definitely into the 20s, which is super hot for Scotland, as you can imagine. I believe that there's been a fair bit of flooding down south, which has been awful. Normally up in Scotland we get the bad weather, but we've had glorious weather. Today it's raining. Yesterday it was raining, but hey ho, it saves me from watering my garden, which is always a bonus. Just the usual, walking the dogs. My husband's been working. He's been working quite late hours this week, and that's him off to work this morning. So taking this opportunity while the house is nice and quiet to do my podcast. So welcome. I'm first of all going to show you my whips that I've been working on this week. I've actually got a few FKs. I'll talk about that later. But I'd like to show you my whips at the moment. So my first whip is living in my Jibberoo, I think it's called String of Hearts bag. I purchased this from Etsy. She's a fantastic, I think it's a mother and daughter, I'm not sure, but they produce absolutely fantastic bags. So you should get yourself over to Etsy and have a look. And I believe by her Instagram feed that she has just finished a whole load more, so there should be a super update on our Etsy group. Wrong bag actually, but I'll show you this one anyway. I am knitting the Talisman Shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmaids. Now this is part of the Shawl Society. It came out there on the 9th of June I believe, and she's going to be producing a shawl pattern every single month until November, so that's 6 shawls. I signed up to this right at the very start, and I've been eagerly waiting to knit this up. I hadn't chosen my yarns until I saw the pattern. I had a few ideas of what I was going to do, but when I saw this I thought, well, I've got 2 skeins of this gorgeous yarn that I really would love to use up. I actually just bought this recently when I was visiting York for a little week's holiday with my husband. This is stunning, so I've decided because I've got so much yarn, I'm actually going to do the large version. So get yourself along there, get yourself into the groups, have a look on Ravelry pattern page. People have already started it. Some of the work is absolutely outstanding. The yarns that people have used, I'm not so brave with some of the colours of yarn that I use. I'm not very good at mixing colours together, but the yarns that people have picked have been gorgeous. There's hundreds of posts on her Ravelry page and on their group forum, so definitely have a look. So I'm knitting this in the Arcania yarns. Absolutely love it. It's the botany lace. It doesn't have a name, but it's the tonals, it's the purples, the lilacs, the pinks. Oh, it's absolutely stunning, and it's the code on the back is 1654. It is 100% extra fine merino, 450 yards, 410 metres. Absolutely stunning. I haven't wound this one up yet because I thought I'll wait until I use up this one. Now, Danny from Little Bobbin Nets would wind this up on her thumb. I gave it a go. What a mess, not doing that. So I am doing it. Oh, what have I done with it? I'm doing this on a kitchen roll, and it winds up beautifully. It's just, I find it easier. I have little short thumbs. It just seems easier to do it that way. It's a centre pull ball. It's really, really tight. The yarn doesn't go everywhere. My wool winder seems to be chewing up my yarn. I get to a certain point and it chews up a bit. So that's been really, really annoying me. So I spend about 15 minutes and I'll make this up, and it's lovely. This is where I've gotten to. I'm about, oh, I haven't got it with me. I think I'm on row 54. And like I said, I'm doing the large version. It's got these gorgeous little stars. I'm not showing it to its best there. Isn't that lovely? See the little stars poking through? Absolutely stunning, and I love how that's knitting up. The colours are just absolutely amazing. I'm knitting this on my ChiaoGoo red lace, and these are 4mm. I've recently found ChiaoGoos and I want size, every single size. Absolutely love them. I don't think I'd knit socks on them because they are quite firm, but for shawls, oh, absolutely amazing. And they just slide over the join, no problem. There's no catching. Absolute dream. Thank goodness I found these because I absolutely love them. And I picked these up at the Edinburgh Yarn Fest back in March. Beautiful. So I will add to my collection. So that's what I'm knitting there. My second whip that I'm working on, I've only got 2 whips, well maybe 3, but 3 is a long-term project that I'm doing. This is also a Jibberoo bag. It's the drawstring, and it's called, let me just check my notes, I think it's called London's Calling. London Calling, and you can see it's got the London bust, it's got the crown jewels, it's got the black taxi, it's got the guard, the red post box on it as well, and number 10 Downing Street, Oxford Street. It's gorgeous. Jibberoo sew bags are just amazing. So what's hiding in this one is my own pattern. I like mittens. I'm not a big fan of socks. I can't be gloves. I'm not into all that fiddly finger thing and making sure that there's no holes between them, and I'm never 100% happy when I've made them, but I do love mittens. So I have been working on my own pattern. It's 60 stitch pattern. It's just 1 by 1 rib, then work up and increase for the thumb gusset, then I'll work straight, and then I'll decrease for the mitten part at the top. If anybody's interested in this little pattern, it's just a little sock, I keep saying socks, it's just a little glove recipe that works for me. Absolutely love it. I end up making quite a few pairs for the winter. They're great for walking the dogs across the field when it's really, really cold. I tend to do fingerless gloves, the ones that come to there for when I'm driving in the car in the winter. So I always have a pair sitting in the car because it keeps my hands warm but makes sure that my fingers are free to drive, safety first. These are knit on my Knit Pro Symphonies. These are 2.25. These are my favourite needles for doing socks and mittens and fingerless gloves. These are my to-go needles. I have tried umpteen different types. I've tried I think it's the Zings, the Knit Pro Zings. They're too slippy for me. They're stunning because I love the different colours for the different sizes. And I do have quite a few sets, but I like the way that the yarn catches and holds on it because I use 15 centimetres. Mine are quite short needles, but I absolutely love them. Yeah, they are, I think they're only 15 centimetres. Fantastic needles. So this is my first mitten, and it's knitted on the Knit Picks Felici in the Foxglove colourway. Now I've only got 2 skeins of this yarn. I wasn't lucky enough to get the latest update of their Felici yarn, but so I've been hoarding this for about a year, and I thought today would be a perfect time. Well, yesterday would have been a perfect time to cast these on. Love them. So if anybody's interested in having a go at these simple little 4-ply mittens, give me a shout. They're easy enough to change to your own size. I've got really small hands and quite chubby little fingers, so I do a certain number of rows before I start doing the decrease for the thumb, for the tops. But you could just play along as you just keep trying it on as you're doing it. So if anybody's interested, let me know. My third whip. Now, everyone is making these. A fantastic way to use up any leftover sock yarn, because I really don't like to throw anything away. If it's tiny little bit and I think, oh, can I maybe make monster scrappy socks with it? Is there enough there to do that? But no, I decided I'm going to jump on the bandwagon like everybody else did last year, and I'm going to do a scrappy sock blanket. Now, I have been working on this for quite some time. I haven't picked it up in a little while. I think I added 2 squares to it in the last 2 weeks. Everything else is calling me at the moment. I don't really want to spend a lot of time on this at the moment. It's only if I want something really quick to knit, because my concentration levels are a bit tired after a busy week at work. So I've only added 2 squares, but this is my sock yarn blanket, and I love it because I've got memories in it. This colour here, this one here, I believe that was a Regia. Not sure what it was called, but this was the first pair of socks I knit ever, and I think these were for my son when he was really, really little. Memories that are in it are just amazing. Because I hoard some of these yarns for so long. Like when I say my son was little, he was probably about 4 or 5 when I knit him a pair of socks, and he's almost 17. So you can imagine how long I store scrappy bits of yarn. So when this pattern came out, I had to do it. So it's a long-term project. I'm in no hurry to finish it. This could take me the next couple of years to do. I think it's just a fantastic way to use up your little bits, and eventually it will cover this bed. Now I'm sitting in, she used to be my daughter's room, but obviously she's older now and she's moved out. So, and it was red, everything was red and black, very much to her liking at the time, but then my husband and I redecorated, and we did it all white, lime green carpet, lime green curtains, and I had my yarny things in it, and it's a spare room for when she decides to come home. So that's my whips, my finished knits. Now, I don't like using FO like Zina. It's not nice. FO, finished object. It's not a nice way to describe something that you've spent hours and hours knitting. You've put beautiful yarn in it. You've used your poshest needles in it. You're knitting some gorgeous patterns. To say it's an object, no. Finished knit. So from now on it'll be FK. I'm going to mess up quite a few times and say FOs, but correct me, it's FK, finished knits. My first finished knit was, I was working on a sock head hat, which is by, let me have a quick look, Kelly McClure. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It has had absolutely thousands and thousands of downloads. Everyone knows the sock head hat. So this is probably 6th or 7th for me. I knit these for walking the dogs in the winter. Now, my sock head hat, I've done quite a long rib. I don't think it's quite 10 centimetres, I think it's about 8 centimetres. And I don't like my hats to be really, really slouchy. Hats don't suit me, so I don't like them slouchy. So I knit this to my head size. I kind of corrected the pattern to fit me personally. I love it. This is knit in the Little Yellow Ukes crafts yarn. This is one, I think this was for a very first update, and it's called You Shall Be Queen. Absolutely love how it's pulled. I'm a big fan of pull yarn. I know Kay from Bakery Bears absolutely hates it, but I love it. I love how it's knit up and it's kind of done in rows. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, I had so much of it left that I decided I'm going to have a pair of mitts to go with it. Now, because it's a standard 60 stitch mitts that I've made, the yarn knitted up completely different. It probably knitted up the way it should have looked and how Zena thought it would look, but I'll show you anyway. Aren't these lovely? Look at the colours. Absolutely stunning how that's knitted up and completely different to the hat. I've done it on, what's a bit bright, there we go. It is done on Drops Fable off-white colourway, and I have loads and loads of standard colours. It's great for just heels and toes and little extras when you're trying to save as much yarn as possible. So this is my finished knit. I did 20 row 1 by 1 rib, knit to my gusset, increase for my gusset, put my gusset stitches on waste yarn, then knitted up to how many rows fits my fingers, because that's my fingers right there, the many I wanted, and then I decrease. So that's my mittens. I will knit several pairs of these this winter. Stunning. Absolutely love them. Thank you, Zena. Your colourway is amazing. But I still have enough left. Probably about 30 grams I've got left of Zena's You Shall Be Queen yarn. I don't know whether I have enough to maybe do a pair of little shorty socks and maybe do them stripes. I'm not sure, or whether I'm just going to leave it and put it into my sock blanket. I'm not sure yet, but as usual I hoard it and I keep it because there will be a use for it. My last finished knit is these, I'm just having a look, these are the Rose City Roller Socks by Mara Catherine Briner. A free pattern on Ravelry. Everybody's knitting them. Great way to use up smaller amounts of yarn. These are done to fit my feet. I've used the slip stitch heel, and the yarn is the mini skein pack, which is Merino Stellina Sparkle base, and it's for the Love of Yarns UK over on Etsy. She's a Glasgow based yarn dyer. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I believe that she's got a very popular Facebook page as well. Dog hair as usual on my socks. This is just standard black, 75/25, just black sock yarn, nothing fancy, but the heels and toes are stunning. Now I've already done a yellow pair, which I showed you last week, and I showed you the colours that I had left, so I will be doing a pair for everyone, in every one of the colours, and they're all for me. So that's my last finished knit. I have been buying again. I have been buying a fair bit. A couple of things that's been in my stash for maybe a couple of weeks, but this is the one that I bought this week, and this is the one I fall in love with. As you all know, well, you will start to know, I absolutely love Felt Fusion's Den of Yarn Tickety, Shadows Yarns over on Etsy. She also has a Facebook page where she lists a lot on there, and you can go on and you can just select the ones that you want, type in sold, and then she'll send you an invoice through PayPal. But this one was on Etsy and I loved it. Look at that. You can see, I'm hoping you can see the sparkles as well. All these purples and pinks, and there's bits of turquoise and obviously the base colour, the white. But she's done this one's called Ice Dyed, and it's a one of a kind. It's the Superwash Merino Nylon Sparkle Sock, 400 metres, 100 grams. Now she says it's one of a kind, but there is another one on Etsy. I think she must have done two. So if you're really quick, you could get in there and grab it. It's lovely. Love it, love it, love it. Don't know what I'm going to make from it yet. We'll see. project will appear at some point. So that's the first thing that I bought this week and I absolutely love. Who doesn't love a little bit of opal? I saw this when I was down in York a couple of weeks ago and loved it. It just stood out amongst the rest. This is the new Popcorn colourway by Opal. Popcorn, and it says Lottie and Hans. I'm not sure what that is. The colourway is 9102 or 1346, depends on how you look at it. Opal yarn, can't say too much about Opal yarn. Lovely colours, lovely tough sock yarn, perfect. I have a huge stash of Opal yarn that I constantly add to. Love it. It's just stunning, and the colours are really pretty, and you can see there's a little bit of mint green in there. Mint green's my favourite colour at the moment, so these will probably not be out for quite some time, but at least I have them. My other one I bought when I was down in York is, I've not used this brand before and everybody talks about it, and I thought, right, I'm going to have it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's the Malabrigo, and it's the sock one, which is 440 yards, and it is called, it's the 857 Light of Love colourway. It's a gorgeous tonal pinks, bit of a sucker for pinks as well. I gravitate to pinks, purples and lime green, but that is just stunning yarn. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make with this, but I just had to have it. The other things that I bought, I actually bought these first, and it wasn't until they arrived that I realised I'd bought the wrong one. So I then went on to buy the right one later on. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners in their cocktail range. I bought every single colour. I wanted the whole pack. It wasn't until I got home that I realised I actually bought the Aran weight yarn. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. Like I said, I've got it in every colour. I believe this one, I'll show you the colours actually. This one's Blue Lagoon, and you can see why, they're all different cocktails. This one is called Sherbet, let me just double check, Sherbet Fizz, and it's very subtle pastel hues, which is stunning. Not sure what I'm going to make with these yet. This one's the bright one, and this one is called Rum Paradise, and it's like this one but just the deeper shades of it, so that's Rum Paradise. I've also got Passion Fruit Cooler, which is lovely. I love the olivey greens and the purples in this one, and it'll strike lovely. I have the orangey one is, oh, I'm not sure what the orange, yes I do, Tequila Sunrise. I've actually knit a pair of socks in the 4-ply of this, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. And the last one, lime green of course, Mojito. Now that definitely reminds me of Mojito. Like I said, I bought this in, sorry, scrunchy. I actually bought it in the Aran by mistake. I was actually supposed to buy it in the 4-ply, but it just gave me an excuse to buy the 4-ply as well. With the 4-ply, I've been knitting socks with it. I used the Tequila Sunrise. I've made my first pair of socks with this one. There's loads left, so I'll probably do a pair of mittens, and I would love to find a really good cowl pattern to use up for the Arden. I don't want it sitting in my stash for a long time, so if you can recommend any good cowl for self-striping Aran weight yarn, let me know. So that's all my squishy things at the moment. Let me have a little look. Yep. A couple of podcasts that I'm enjoying. Sarah Wright from Love Sock Wool podcast. I think she's up to episode 30. Love her. She is so bubbly. She's always smiling. I love the fact is that she just casts on every single pair of socks. She sees the yarn and she just casts them on, and if it takes her a year to finish the second one, it takes her a year. She does them beautiful, beautiful colourways at the moment. No makers. She loves no makers. That's her favourite at the moment. She takes little bursts off, they're my favourite, and she'll buy lots and lots of colourways in that particular brand, and then she'll move on to the next one. Very good, very fun watching her. She hasn't done a podcast for a couple of weeks, so come on, we're waiting on it. So that's Love Sock Wool on YouTube. The latest one I've just found is Sarah Youde. It's Youde, and she's a dorky emu from Cornwall. We're on episode 2 at the moment. I was recommended that one. When you look at certain videos on YouTube, you're kind of recommended to other ones, and she was recommended to me. But what really struck me was she does beautiful, beautiful work. Is it intarsia that she does? It's the colour work that she does, and it's absolutely stunning. She's got 2 episodes up at the moment. She makes her own bags. They are just amazing. The quality of the bags are just lovely. But what really struck me was she's got Blythe dolls in her background. Now, I have a Blythe doll. I used to knit and sell my clothes on Etsy for Blythe dolls. So they're a bit of a unique doll. They're a wide-eyed doll. They're the very large-eyed doll. I think they're from Japan. There's a huge follow for Blythe dolls, but I absolutely loved seeing hers. So check her out. She's wonderful. The groups I'm taking part in at the moment, I'm doing the Summer of Socks Cal with Dan and Kate on the Bakery Bears. I think that's running right through. It started on May the 25th, which was Kate's birthday, and it's running right through. So you can, any socks that you finished, pop them on. I think they've got well over 100 complete socks so far, and we're only a couple of weeks in, so you can imagine there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of pairs of finished socks on there. I'm also doing the Fancy Feet Cal with the Grocery Girls. Now that ends this week, so if you've got any finished ones that you've started and need a little motivation, get them finished and pop them along to the Grocery Girls Ravelry page. I'm also doing the Summer Sock Cal. That's what the group's called, the Summer Socks Cal. That's running from the 15th of June to the 15th of September. They just want you to knit socks. It's knit any socks, it's any pattern, any yarn, any heel technique, any weight, just knit socks. Put them on, because she's got some groovy little prizes at the end of the cal as well. Like I said, my favourite bag designer is the Jimmy Roo Sews on Etsy. Like I said, she has just done a huge sewing week, I suppose. They're all finished, and I think she's going to be doing an update very, very soon. I think I've run out of things to talk about. I'd like to thank you for coming and spending some time with me. It's still quite nerve-wracking. My only output for my knitting is through podcasts and Ravelry. I don't have anybody locally that I can knit with, or go on yarn fests or anything else, so all friends are welcome. So hopefully see you soon in a couple of weeks. Have a great day. Bye bye.